Hello guys. Cheers. It's a beautiful day. I'm just having a cheeky coffee. Look, I don't have much, only a little bit, maybe three mouthfuls, and that's it for the day. But yeah, I mean, that's the only bad thing I do. Naughty. I'm a naughty. You're a very naughty boy. I am. You're not the Messiah. You're a very naughty boy. How you doing, guys? It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Look at this view. Come on. I mean, look at that. All right. Okay. I gotta admit, the chemtrails are a disaster today, and they're all over Mias Pueblo. You know they're doing that because of me, right? It's because of me. They're after me. No, you don't start going cuckoo, guys. It's yeah, chemtrails is a different story. Let's just get rid of that. Let's clear ourselves. How do we clear ourselves from chemtrails? There you go. Get some berries. Berries. Immune system. So many other things you can do to clear out the toxic chemicals from your body, but we have to be joyful, because if we are always focused on the negative, and I'm not talking about conspiracy theories, I'm talking about life in general, I'm talking about you. I mean, come a little closer. Sorry, I'm taking you out of the photo, guys. Love you, but need to get a little closer. Come on, let's think about this. Get down to the essence of what love is. What is it all about? What's love about? Loving yourself. You know something? For 20 years prior to this, I actually believed that these hands were ugly. I believed that from here to here, this section was too big and this section were too small, so I had little diddy hands. That's what I saw. Do you know why I saw that? Oh, and my nose. I saw my nose as being a witch nose, apparently. That's what I used to see. So I was so like... you know, and yet I was a healer. Yeah, I was a healer, right? But I was like fearful of my hands because they were like little tiny hands, and my nose. And you know why? Because people that I knew used to say, well, somebody who I lived with used to say I used to have funny hands, and it wasn't nothing negative. It was funny to them, but to me, I was really. And the more she said it, the more I believed that I had really horrible hands, and they weren't normal and natural, and there was something wrong with them. And you know, even my little daughter and son used to say, "Oh, you've got a witch's nose," and I used to laugh because they used to say it, and it didn't really bother me, but I used to think, "Oh, I have got a witch's nose," you know. And then came along somebody who said, "You've got the most beautiful hands I've ever seen." So I said, no, I've not. She said, "You have." I went, "No, I have not." I said, "They're the ugliest hands in the world. They're too small, and these are too big, and they're so not normal." She said, "I don't know why you're saying that. They're the most beautiful hands in the world." And she said, "And your profile is beautiful." I said, no, jeez, no, it's not. It's a witch's, no, it's the most beautiful profile, manly profile that I've ever seen in the world. This was repeated to me on and on and on. And eventually, I look at my hands now and say, you know what? I love my hands. And I look at my nose and think, I have got a manly nose, and I love it. And any other nose, if I had it changed, wouldn't suit me. And so, come a bit closer. So I kind of started thinking about this a few months ago, thinking, wow, what is love? What is self-love? Now, I look back to this day and realise, oh my God, I was so influenced by the people in my life. And for 20 years, I looked at my hands as ugly and my nose as ugly. And now, because somebody else has come into my life and said the opposite, I'm starting to look at myself and see myself different. Isn't that actually amazing? And then I ask you, doesn't that say something? Doesn't that tell you something? Loving yourself is a choice. Is a choice whether you want to love yourself because you love yourself, or do I love these hands now because somebody says they're lovely? Actually, it's not because somebody says they're lovely. It's that I've actually looked at them and said, actually, these are my hands. And there is nobody with hands like these, and they are so special and so powerful. And they're my hands and I love them. Not because somebody said they were funny looking or somebody said that they're beautiful. It's because I made a conscious decision to love myself, to love my nose. And I don't care what people think about it anymore. Lovely, ugly, witch, manly, it doesn't matter. I've learned to love myself just the way I am. You see, to me, true love is loving yourself. But true love, loving yourself, means that you do it not because of somebody else's thoughts or feelings, but what fits and sits within you. Isn't that beautiful? So I say to you, I don't care whether you're beautiful or you think you're ugly, or whether somebody says you're ugly or you're beautiful. That doesn't matter. What matters is what you feel inside you. Now that's our path to love. Because once you love yourself, regardless of what other people think, and you mean it wholeheartedly, that you are special, that you are beautiful, that you are amazing, then and only then will true love enter your life. Because if you learn to love yourself wholeheartedly through your own thought and feeling, through your own judgment, through your own opinions, whatever they are, through your own thoughts and feelings, if you can say to yourself in that mirror, I love me and I am satisfied with who I am, I love myself, and really mean it, and look at yourself and treasure your whole body as a temple, as a vessel that you live in for now, because we know that beyond this conversation becomes the bigger picture, which is the spirit, which never dies. And if you can look at your spirit as the most powerful, beautiful, perfect light in this world, and you can look at your physical in the same way, I think that is true love. And from there, where do we go? So how do we heal? Well, I guess if we look at our childhood, whether we were an orphan, whether we had a mother or father, whether we had a good father or bad father, or we were brought up by our grandma, or whatever happened to us as a child, I guess we have to learn to heal all of those thoughts and feelings which were bombarded at us all the time, on the negative energy, on the negative of the you can't do this or you're not good enough. And how do we begin to heal our heart? Well, today I'm going to give you an example from a man who's experienced sitting in front of many of thousands of beautiful souls, men, women, young teenagers, grandmas, granddads, who have experienced heartache of so many different types. I learned that self-love is a beautiful thing. So not so long ago, I created an oil. And whenever I want to feel stronger in myself, whenever I want to feel happier, like this morning when I got up, I thought, I want to work on myself this morning. That's why you see me a little bit more happier, because I gave myself time. So I made this oil, and it's called Healing Heartache. And healing heartache wasn't just predominantly about heartbreak, it was about all forms of suffering in the heart. So I went on a mission to find the most beautiful and effective oil to work with the heart. And of course, you all know now, it was rose. So I searched the land for the most purest rose, and the petal was from Bulgaria. And I saved and saved my money, and eventually I was able to afford a little bottle. Just a little bottle, but that's more than a car. You can buy a brand new car for that. So, yeah, I bought this rose oil from Bulgaria, and I started working on a perfect oil for the heart, to heal the heart, to strengthen the heart, so we're able to let go and become stronger and love ourselves. So I worked on the oil day after day, week after week, and about 3 months went by, and for some reason I had this amazing thought in my head. Now that I've been putting energy into this oil, sat with this oil for hours, just like one of these tubs in the other room, I'm sat with this oil, putting my love in there, and healing the thoughts of that I love myself. I've healed myself from a child. I've healed myself from my mother moving into the light when I was 12. All of these beautiful energies of love going into this to help people go through the same thing and heal from the same thing. There was one thing missing. It just came. It's like spirit is so clever. Or channeling, whatever you think it is, whether it's your imagination, doesn't matter to me, but I got this amazing feeling. This is the final part of the jigsaw for this oil. So I made a phone call to my ex-wife, and I said, Susie, is there any chance of meeting with you? I've got something I'd like to ask. So yeah, sure. So we sat and had a coffee. I said, this is going to sound really crazy. I says, but I've created an oil and I want you to be part of this oil. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I had this epiphany, this apple dropped on my head moment where I saw you holding the oil and putting your love into it. And the reason why is because we've spent 20 years together, and now we parted. And we parted on pretty good terms. Yes, we went through pain and suffering. We cried and the fear and all that. We both did, but we've both grown from that now. We're both happy, and we're both finding our independence and love and confidence. And like today, I saw her yesterday, she's growing, and it's amazing. And I said to her, would you do me the honor of taking this big jar and working with it and putting your love in? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, remember when we were together and then we came apart and then we grew in happiness? I'd like you to put that growth of happiness and loving each other still, even though now we're apart, that we still have love and respect, and we still love each other in our ways, and put in the healing process of how you've healed and how you feel now and how you feel confident and strong and you're moving on. And she went, okay. And she thought that was a good idea. So a month or so went by and I got the oil back. And I felt the oil, I put it on my heart. And I made my first bottle and I sent it to her, and she sent me a message back a few weeks later and said, Mark, it works. I said, I know, it works, it does. Because that was the final piece. So I take my pure energy healing heartache oil and I put 1, 2, 3 drops in the morning, and I take that oil and I rub it directly onto the heart, the center of the chest, not to one side, the center, never the sides, always the center. And then I rub my hands together and place a tiny bit here to help me see the truth, to help me hear the truth, to help me speak the truth, and then I breathe it in. Wow. Again. Take my right hand and place it on my heart, my left hand out. And I see myself holding somebody's hand that I love, walking along the beach. I don't need to see their face or their body, I'm just holding their hand. And we're talking, we're laughing, we're loving. There's joy, respect for one another. And as we're walking, I see each step that is 1 year at a time. So as we walk, we're getting older, but more happier and happier. Till then we see a bench, and we go and sit on that bench together looking at the sea. I put my arm around my love, and she puts a head on my shoulder, and I say, I love you with all my being. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for loving me. Oof. And that's how I learnt to heal my heart and to become the happy soul that you see this morning. And yes, there are days that I fall, and there are days that I walk over and get my heart healing oil and do the same, and within 15 minutes I'm filled with joy. The person who was sat on that seat next to me was a reflection of myself. I've learned to love myself and honour myself. From my heart to yours, have a beautiful day, guys. I mean that with all my heart. And thank you for going to Bajerski.com and buying your genuine, authentic, pure energy healing heartache oil. I hope it serves you well and touches your heart as much as it has mine. Take care, guys. Enjoy your day.